Okay, I should be streaming. And as usual, I will be doing my little test. Here we go. Is it working or is it not? I think, okay, it should be. It's hard to tell because there's no current music on the screen. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. I mean, barely visible, it depends what you mean. Because there's different layers to barely visible. Okay, that test is working, so I can get off that, close this down. Yeah, I'll just go with that. Please enter the current time. Oh dear, oh dear. Alright. 7. I'll do 53. It's not. Okay, there we go. Okay, that is in 15 seconds time for me. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confirm. Can be changed from the main menu. Okay. So, I've never played this game before, but I've heard it's good. Back when I was at university, one of my teachers actually recommended this game. Does it? Yeah, that's... So yeah, one of my lecturers, they said whenever like a new person comes over to their house, they get them to play this game, and everyone watches just to see the choices they make. It seems like it has a lot of paths. But I don't know if it's really playable to each individual person, or if you play it once and then you get enjoyment from seeing how other people do it. So, begin the game. Ever the end is never the end. The end is never the end is loading. Okay, I already know this is going to be a mindfuck.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
And
do.
then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, this is me. Is there anything I can pick up here? No. He is kind of interact. Where's the Field of view. Maybe camera sensibility.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so... Is this going to be a thing where, like, I shouldn't listen to the
No
narrator?
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What does that say? I like work, I just hate my boss. 456, tortured reference right there for you. No. Okay, through here then. A leaf. Sales in this quarter. Someone with a bunch of donuts, I think, saying no. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, I feel like at a certain point you're gonna not listen to the narrator. I am curious what the other option was, but...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. I don't understand what any of that means. How to solve a dispute... No, I wanted to read that. Make sure your side has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on the text. I had a lecture, a different one. Everyone is unique, you most of all. And there was a PowerPoint presentation on how not to do a PowerPoint presentation. And he said every single person, numbers on this slide, okay, and every single person asked for a copy of that. And it got to like slide 3. It's like by this point you would have realized that you can add some sound effects or something like that in. Bi-quarterly review. What was I meant to be doing? What did the narrator say? Broom closet. Ooh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
But there's a broom. But no mop.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
What if I do it? What if I stay a bit longer? What does the narrator
It was
say?
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be just... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. No. Bathroom. Ooh. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Okay. This is really... This doesn't give officey vibes. Computer? Yeah. The beige pages. Can I try? No.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Does that
Shocked,
include me?
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
There's a newly open passageway? Oh, there is. Too dark, I can't see. Oh, there is actually a... There's a tunnel down there, but I can't see it. Is there a light switch back here or something? No, no light switch. That? No. Okay, back down I go. Loading, loading, loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Got toxic. The last thing I want is to hit escape and it just exits the game. And I feel like that's something this game would do. Well, that... I really don't know. Because at a certain point, I don't want to do what the narrator says, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of want to know. Hello?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay, through here. This is... The first bit felt like the thing in X-Men, Xavier's Cerebro, was it? Okay, so we got camera there. Employee protocol. I can't quite read that. Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Which number was I? Oh, is that the next section?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah, now it's making an effort that I'm just doing whatever he says, but I don't really have another option.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
So maybe I shouldn't be doing what the narrator says. Oh, blind to the world. Okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Hang in there. Awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
But if I turn the power on, does that mean the mind control will come back online? So... Okay. Is it
Blackness.
Ooh.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That's a door?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Wait, beat the game. Four, 2, 7. It says beat the game, but I'm not at the main menu. Narrator?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I hope this is part of the game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I can't actually drink any of the stuff, okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's see. Oh, fuck.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
If I do it all again... Yeah, I'm tempted to do...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
You take out passive aggressive on other co-workers, resent co-workers for not supporting more, so on and so forth. Has this changed?
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay. I don't know if that's because it's a loop.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Everything I did the first time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yep. And let's go down. Was that there last time? I can't remember.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
427, I
one
believe.
of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427, there. I'm putting my finger on my actual monitor. It should change soon. Yeah, that's my office.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Wait, is that a button?
Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
There is something up there I never noticed before. I just can't see the stairs. This is quite annoying. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
And when at last he found the source of the room's
Repeated exactly as before.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
If I don't do anything, will it speak? Okay.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so it mentions new path before Stanley, but then it reverts back here. So I'm able to do other stuff. The end is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
See, it's a shame that's not the exact time. Unless I entered it... No, I didn't enter it wrong. I did 07, did I?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
It's not an open door.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I need a key card. I mean, it said danger everywhere. No buckets past this point. Is there a bucket? No, I can't jump.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Close it. I've always liked the colour blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Ooh.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Did I?
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, there's a blue door here.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Let's go see what the exit was. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
What's worse and what's best? You don't say.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really. Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh. World leaderboard. Good old now. I saw Hawk. That means, did you know? 21.3 skipped the intro sequence. Only the worst 3% chose the blue door. I chose the blue door. How long do you think it takes you to get to the correct door? Right. And back here.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again,
No.
honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay, what are we going... Did they have like a crows?
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
See, Firewatch was on my wish list. I haven't... That's a gunshot. Okay, down the other side. Weird how there's no jump button.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Okay,
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Wait,
preferably something with walls.
That's a
something
sign.
with
That's a
nice,
sign.
big, insurmountable walls.
Jamesy Lake.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Are they meant to be clues? Ooh.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Hold on, I'm sending a photo to Ketty because he plays this game a lot, and I'm curious if it will trick him. Attach the photo and send. Board down. Oh.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Okay. Come on, and the goal, and the goal. That's one in.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this
I
a
wouldn't go that
real
far.
video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
I can't really see. Oh. Door? No door. White paint. I don't really know where I'm going at this point. What was it? 427, am I? Yeah, I'm heading back towards my little 427. Okay, there's a little mirror. Ooh, what just happened?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Well, that's not creepy at all. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
3 doors there now? New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Maybe this was the trap.
for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
No other way.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's
See,
the jump circle.
I was saying you couldn't jump in this game. Do you go in the circle? Yeah. You can just hear my keyboard going. Oh. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Well,
If this is new
surely.
content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley, this is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Well, I didn't have a choice in that one. That's new. Wait, that's a photo of the corridor. No. No.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity.
The Last
Back
of
then,
Us.
it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Original. Good times. Smile because it happened. I'm guessing that's like the first dollar made. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. It is impossible. Okay. I'm curious if that's an achievement. Don't play for 5 years. New video game releasing today. Those tough choices.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
True. The original remake. Memory Zone maintenance. Oh. Don't have an option. Okay. Well, I tried at least. Top 10 memories. Person of the year. The greatest wealth is memory. Through this door? No.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
When
9 out of 10. Don't you
Rocket
get
League?
it, Stanley? The game was
I
perfect.
did it when I
It
sent you
didn't
the
need
message.
anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game
Yes, if you go back
memories.
15 minutes into the stream, that's when I was playing Rocket League. You missed it, Ketty. Can I... The serious room. Okay. Did I miss something? Can't go those. Oh,
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it
There we go.
all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
oh, is
no.
this like the bad
God, no.
memories?
Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny,
It's not a scam,
with
Cassie.
his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It most certainly is. No, earlier there was a Rocket League level. That's why I sent you the message. In here? No.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh, dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
I know.
These
went
black
to go
marks
check it.
are my
Scam.
otherwise
No, not
unimpeachable
scam.
track record.
You checked it. You saw me. I played in the Rocket League level.
Like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
hours. Bloody hell.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
No.
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
It's like she's playing the experience.
And here it is. Go ahead. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was...
10 past 2.
I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
No. I want to make him suffer.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much...
Nothing's here. Okay.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, end.
Do I just keep skipping?
the end, is never 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 the end, is.
Oh fuck. I don't quite know what to be doing now. Can I leave? It's not really giving me a lot of options. Press it until it stops working. I'm doing that, Ketty. Fucking hell. Has the narrator died? Press. What happened to all the plant life? That's screaming. Yeah, that's worrying. Uh-oh. Oh, this is at an angle. Maybe it's still working. Nope. Press it again. I've already done that, Ketty. I don't know. Oh, okay. I know you're reading slow. I wrote it before you went back. Maybe you're typing too fast. Okay, how far back into the game? There's no narrator. Is he dead?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The original plan before I went to the new content was to take the exit.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
So I'm going to try that.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yeah, I went in there one too many times.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No idea what down does or where that goes. Oh yeah, I gotta wait for him to say the number.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some
okay.
buttons. Oh, hey,
can't
look,
see.
it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Down we go. Loading, loading, loading. This time I'm
Stanley
taking
walked
the
straight
exit.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm walking backwards, bitch. I heard a noise. Oh well. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never... Ooh, falling.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley,
Ooh.
cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Well, I know what happens when I take that exit.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was
Yes, that's my
already dead
office.
from the moment he hit
There's a sign.
start?
The blueprint says beginning of the game. The two doors section. Yeah, so I go through. The pacing of the section was important to get right. The covert door has been moved in order to make the player reach the two doors in good time, and that's the two doors. The set of two doors was the very first concrete piece. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged an extension. Filing cabinets, office computers. Credits. Okay. Oh, there's something that side as well. Okay, so are these the credits, or am I going to get reset again? Oh. Oh. In a previous version of the choice lead into the apartment. What apartment ending? A time will give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone will give you the meeting room. Okay, so yeah, obey, disobey. The doorway to maintenance in the lounge. Yeah, so you go to the lounge and then you have maintenance where you can go back. The other entrance will be hidden depending on how you entered. There's a vent. I don't know what half these things are. Am I meant to remember some of this? These levers were originally a part of the Zending, and the narrator will describe what colour they had pulled. One of the desk from the early version. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, well that's
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
me and the narrator.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Okay, so does this game... Yeah, it has multiple endings, so the game has an ending. It's not like the only ending is when you decide to hit escape and quit. Yeah, resume the game. Any
All of his
narrator?
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay, let's go down. Maybe I should have paid attention, because that has all the little layouts, and I should have paid attention to it.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
No other option.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Are you sure?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Can I get in? Down here.
No. This isn't right
wondered
at all.
what
You're
this
not
was
supposed to
up
be
here.
here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
But it's not a spoiler. I've
who
already
am I
been
kidding?
here.
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley...
Wait.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. inner guilt. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah, I really am lost at the... Oh!
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
No inner guilt
Okay,
sign.
let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, I'm happy to keep wandering.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's no doors this time.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I don't think that door was open before.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
No.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yeah,
Well, do you
it's
know
an
what?
office building.
Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
But we went that way last time. There's a weird door there.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Alright. Now I'm 2-7.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Can't be something really stupid like how many leaves. This way. Oh.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh, this has opened up now. The 456, again, Torchwood reference. Oh.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through,
I'm over
you...
there.
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
437, so that's 10 above me.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms.
I like the line.
Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I also like the music. Ba 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 ba. Where'd it go? Out there.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
I actually got dizzy from doing that. Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
I don't know.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Okay. Jump scare there.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
I don't know if I trust the new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The first open door on my left. Must be this one.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I mean, I've already jumped down there once and I died.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot
I never did get a key
here.
card.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
I'm worried
There's
there's
someone
no
you've been
ending
neglecting,
and
Stanley.
goes on and on and on.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
No, seriously, you disabled it. There we go.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Hi.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press O.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press J.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
G. Can I do anything apart from... Fine.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press Z to watch TV. Okay.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Is this just all a fever dream?
So he went further. He imagined that he
they're
came to
different
two
numbers.
open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
It will press Z to watch TV. That does nothing. Okay.
As he
prepare
wandered
dinner.
through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Where is the baby?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press G to tell your wife you love
But there
her.
is no
I thought I
answer.
didn't have a wife.
How
Oh.
could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
B.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
And I tried.
See, a couple of times while playing Far Cry 3, my game crashes. So these sudden cuts of blanks does have me worried. I'm like, shit, has something crashed? Please die.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Okay, you want me to die? I
When
know.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah, it really is.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the
told
platform
me to
and
die,
plunged to his
I
death.
think.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Right.
All of his co-workers were gone.
You told me
What
to
could
die.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I do like the broom cupboard, although I think he closed it up.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
I
office.
never
Coming
went
to a
down.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I thought that.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Is it back to normal?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I'll be honest, I'm just curious, like, how long until the actual ending?
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
I don't trust the new content, not after last time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I've been through that one so many times. Oh, wait, no. Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Things are starting to get too repetitive for me now. Oh, that was not an option before. I'm at the boss's office. Surely that's already at the top. Am I just going to be in the elevator until it stops? Okay. I'm literally back where I was. What about down? Yeah, same location. See, now it's just getting tedious for me. Okay, that's already open.
Here's the door, just go.
Loading, loading, loading.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that
I'm
read
good.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
No, it's a bit beyond the end of the hall. And I'm walking backwards. I'm
The
not
door
walking
behind him
towards
was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
it. Not turning around. I'll
At
have
this
to run
point,
forward.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Come on. There we go.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay, and this is where I go into like the weird
And yet
afterlife
it would be
thing.
just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay. The lounge. Underground. Yes.
Button the story. Does that sound plausible to you?
Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded
Stanley
dialogue
walked
of
over the
entire
bridge.
game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years. Okay. Dead end here.
Let's see.
Up here. The Freedom Ending. One of the desks of the Countdown ending. I don't know that one. I have yet to get to an ending. Countdown room. Game design mock-up. Okay. Narrator emails. After the second trailer went out, we sent out. We asked people to email the narrator for questions. We had initially planned to use these further promotional materials. We never found the perfect use for them. Here's a selection of those emails. How did you make GR? How is the game going? I hope it's good or better than the first one, from a cool man. Oh, you were right. Okay. The office. The apartment ending. I went to the apartment. Okay. The hallway flows. Oh no. The flow of the hallway following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players will play them so many times. You got that damn right. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Okay, so first choice Obey. Event. One doorway to the... I don't think that helps. I'm very curious. How the hell do I finish the game, or do I just leave? I'm actually going to Google how do I end the game. Stanley Parable, how to stop the bomb? What the hell? You can reach like heaven ending by act. When the hell do you activate computers? Have I been like on stupid mode this whole time? Or the museum ending. Or have I just been doing multiple endings and I can finish the game at any point? This is what's confusing me. Exit Stanley's office at the 2 doors, pick the one on the right, go to the warehouse and jump onto the catwalk. I did all that. Yeah, I feel like I've been doing the endings, but because it keeps taking me back. Okay, so is there no actual endings?
Oh, look at these two.
And do I just stop
How they
playing?
wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, because I feel like if I keep playing, I'm just gonna be repeating stuff over and over and over and over again. So I'm gonna quit to the menu. Yeah, there's no continue. Okay, I have no idea if I did the right choice or not. But that was definitely a experience. So thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully you'll join me again in the future. Goodbye.